Okay, so I'm gonna watch this first. I'm gonna stream later today as well. Wait, how old are these replays? The fuck? Ah, they'll be fine. I hope it will be fine. Okay, so I'm just gonna watch some of this real quick because I wanted to just show some people how to play the game. So as a little preface here, because I'm gonna make this into a YouTube video. The thing is about getting better at this game is understanding what to do, and like there's like a couple different factors that go into making yourself a better player. Some of them is learning how to rotate, learning how to shoot, learning how to understand the situation that you're in, and also your openings. So the opening play that you make and just not being useful. You want to be useful at almost all the time in the game, especially if you're a very good player. And generally that means exposing yourself to artillery quite a lot, but just taking good positions, using good positions, rotating throughout the map depending on the situation that you're in, watching the minimap, learning when to rotate is a very important thing. It's just like Counter-Strike. The best Counter-Strike players understand how to rotate. They understand how to shoot. Like shooting and like mechanical skill just you'd expect that. What makes a great player is someone who can make decisions or decisions for themselves. So first thing is I'm gonna watch this real quick. Just want to see how. So we're gonna watch this replay and just show what they did wrong or what they did good. Now on the S tank on this map, I generally would have, especially if you have a platoon mate pushing that far, you can play a lot more aggressively on the 1-2 line because the enemy team doesn't really have any scouts. So what you can do is you can pretty much get to like G1 as like a bush there. You can use. It's actually a little bit higher up as well. But for right now, really, there's nothing really else you could do. The enemy team is like, so right now I'm counting the enemy tanks, and that's what I would be doing right now in my head. If I was playing this tank, I'd just see there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tanks on the enemy team that's been lit on the 1-2, and keep that in the back of keep that in the back of your head. So that means that there's like about 9 tanks that are that could possibly be on the 1-2, minus Artie, so that's about 8. Gonna move up. That's probably what I would do too. However, I would realize probably at this point that my team is just gonna camp. So a push down the 1-2 line would probably be suicidal against the enemy team. Basically, the way you have to play this is you just have to wait till your heavy tanks get pushed up. However, pretty much right now, I would notice that my team is pretty sparse in the 9-0. So right now, what I would think to do is I take a couple of these pot shots here. I'm assuming you're gonna kill the ML. Yeah. So I take a couple of these pop shots here, and then I'd probably rotate to about right here. This area where the TVP is. It'll make the map a little big right here. So where this TVP is, that's where I want to be, because the 1-2 line is not really pushable right now. The enemy team might have a few tanks that push up through here, and you might get like maybe a shot or two of damage before these guys just evaporate. Whoever pushes up. But right now, you want to be right here because these guys aren't really going to poke after they've just been getting shredded by the people who are camping in this line or this line. So you want to be right here so you can be shooting the hill because they're going to get lit and you're going to have easy side shots. If you're right here, you can be out of render range and you can be shooting them. Other than that, really, there's not really much else you could do. You could have your platoon mate, especially if you're playing in a platoon, you should have your platoon mate help you by, I need to turn on the game sound. It's really loud. Right now you could be shooting those guys that cron, that TVP. If you were in the mid right now, you could be shooting them. And probably farming at least, I don't know, half of that cron Vong, shooting the TVP as well. But pretty much you just died for free, and right now you've pretty much been doing nothing for about a whole minute while your team is dying. Your platoon mate has also pretty much done nothing for an entire minute now. And again, you know for a fact that most puppies just don't like pushing 1-2. So there's no reason to be setting up here because they're all just gonna be sitting as far back as they can, like at A1, A2, at B2, and they're gonna be bushed up at TDs. So this guy gets a lot over eager. He's gonna die. He should die. Yeah.
Jag ser målet. Begär nytt mål.
Tough shot. Sitting in the open like this is a really bad idea. If you're gonna play the S-Tank, you have to most of the time like go between travel and siege very quickly. So unless you have a guaranteed shot, don't be in siege mode. Because the second that you get lit or something, you want to be in that travel mode so you can immediately back up at full speed. Like right now, you shouldn't be in siege. There's no reason. You should be in travel, push up, use your binos, and then if you spot something, go into siege and then kill them. Like you should be in travel right now and pushing up the mid ridge. So right now, I think this is probably where you guys lose the game. This is a loss, by the way. I'm not gonna actually gonna make any suspense. I'm pretty sure the reason why you lost this game is because they just sat on this hill here on the train yard, and or on the railroad here, and they just sat here and they just farmed you guys as they pushed across. Basically, all you really have to do to win this game at this point is get you and your platoon mate to go push the south again. Because if you think about it, they're gonna have a T-30 and an STRV here, and the Arty, and perhaps the grill. And you guys can easily kill this IS-7 and this TVP and re-push and gain control of this hill and gain control of the mid-ridge. Basically, once you do that, you box them into this corner of the map, and they're pretty much screwed. Then you can basically get a tank over here and then underneath this ridge, and you can spot these guys, permalite them, and then you can just sit here and farm them with one of your platoon members or something by that communication. But right now, you'll get a couple shots on this T-30, and the STRV there, but for the most part, you guys are gonna lose these trades because they're hold down. And the fact that nobody cleared the 0 line or the 1-2 line is really bad. You should always make sure that you can't have all the tanks accounted for, because that 704 wasn't. And you should have assumed that he was still back there, or he was at A6 or A7, but nobody cleared it, so you wouldn't have known. Right now, the TVD-7 Heavy is asking for help. You should be just YOLOing as fast as you can to go help them right now. Like, you're just taking pot shots at an STRV for like absolutely no reason, and you're doing nothing. The M48 Patton's doing the good play here, which is to push underneath that ridge. But the problem is that once they're lit, they're just probably not going to do anything because they're not really under any pressure from artillery. Your Arty's dead, so there's no point to be pushing under that ridge. You're not going to win the game by pushing on that ridge at all. Retaking the 0 line hill would be a much better use of your hit points. Yeah, just shoot in this tank for a little bit. Like right here, you're pretty much doing nothing. Like, oh, did the replay break? No, it's fine. Like right now, you've pretty much done nothing. Oh, and this is where you make your mistake. You should never do this in an S tank. You never want to like be fighting on these type of angles where you have to expose yourself to someone, especially on this proc ridge right here. A lot of Gold League S-Tank players do not play this ridge ever because it's very easily for you to get shot in the side from here and here. Also, you don't have enough gun impression to play the ridge effectively or you can't play an effective ridge in the S-Tank without exposing your side to someone. So that's why most people don't play that ridge. It's usually played by a Kronvang or an STB-1 because they have the smaller turret. They don't have to expose their whole side. Yeah, see, like right now, well, I don't know what happened with. I don't know what the story is with this Leopard, but he's gone blue for some reason. Yeah, the M40 Patton just basically threw away all of his health poking on a T-30. So that was really dumb. And you drove into the view range of the T-30 for some reason, so now they know exactly where you are. So the IS-7 is just going to get aggressive on this guy. you could have been unlit if you would have backed off like up the mid road, like up this way.
Träff. God verkan.
Okay, I don't know what he was doing. I think he's dead now. You should have known that if the S-Tank have just killed your teammate that he had to have been shooting, and if he was lit, then you knew you had his side. But now it's pretty much over. You guys really just can't win. But if you would have repushed the south, you could have been farming the grill and the IS-7 with both of you guys. Pushing over to this area, like once you win, is really bad. A lot of the problem people have with pub battles is that what they do is once they win a flank, they just go straight for the enemy cap circle, and it's just a huge mistake. Basically, once you've won a flank, you have like two options, like depending on what you feel is the best choice. Like in this game, there was no reason to pressure their cap circle because they could just sit here on this ridge. And since you lost your arty, you're never going to win this fight. So all you could really do is just repush the 0 line and the 9 line. You can't fight against a T30 on this ridge. You're just going to lose. And you did, so. So now it's really a choice. Now you really don't have any options. The 50B and the Yai are really out of position. They're never really gonna get back to safety, so they're just really they're gonna get pincered by the IS-7 on the mid ridge, on the F6 ridge, and they're just gonna die. So right now, what I would be doing is I'd know that the only way that these two guys can die from experience is from this position right here, the E6 position or E7. So I'd be like literally right here or like back here on E1 to defend this area. Alright, he died. I don't know what he was doing. Basically, you want to be at E1 right now, because it gives you an elevated position to fire into this area, so that you could have your Yai Tiger be spotting for you, if he's like actually intelligent, which it looks like he sort of is. All he has to do is light for you. Alright, see how you play this grill. I don't know how he just bounced it. That's good. Should go for the IS-7. Nice. You should be switching to HG right now, by the way. If you're 1v1ing a grill, always go for HG. Okay, what you do? How does he bounce? My god, he's bad. Could actually maybe win this game. I want to see what you did wrong. Okay. I don't know. You should have just fired. He was tracked, so you should have just shot. You knew you probably should have assumed that he was going to stick it. And if he tried to fall back, he would have been lit. When he goes unlit like that, you know he hasn't moved because his camo gets the stationary bonus. So the TVP just shot, so he's reloading. So he's probably going to be YOLOing you, and so is the S-Tank from the ridge. So what I would do right now is I'd probably try to get like somewhere where I can only be engaged from like one direction, or try to light the TVP YOLOing me, because right now he's thinking, or probably will think, okay, well there's only one tank left on enemy team, so I'm just going to YOLO straight at him because he's the only one left. So what I would do right now is I just get like in a forward bush, like right here, like at J3, and try to light the TVP. Like right now, you're literally in no bush at all, and you're gonna get lit first. You want to be in a bush with this thing at pretty much all times, if you can. All right, this is where you should have gone the first time. You might have lit the TVP as he was trying to get like down this way, down the 6th line. Let me just speed it up. Okay, going back to this position. The problem is that all they have to do is get underneath this hill right here, and you lose, because they can just have someone at F1, E1, and then you just die from the side because you can't turn it both. So they start using cap pressure. Okay. Again, this is another thing about the travel and siege mode thing. Wasting a lot of time doing this. That was a nice shot. Since you weren't lighting him, you knew where he was in the cap circle. Alright, nice. You pull back through the bushes. But now you have to start thinking about where the TVP is. He's off the cap now, so you don't really have to worry about the cap pressure. Yeah, see, the TVP was on your flank. So yeah, at this point, all you have to, basically your only option is to YOLO the TVP. So because like right now they can't cap with more than one person. So right there at the end, you had only two options. There was only 1 minute on the cap left, and after you reset him, he basically had no time after he got off. He realized that and started YOLOing you. But what you should have done is all you had to do was get one reset, and he couldn't win the game. So what you should have done is just gone to this ridge, like going over here to E1, E2, and then you could have lit this ridge line, which is most likely where the TVP was going to attack you from. And you should have just waited for him. If there's only one tank on cap, you have like a minute and 30 seconds, so you had plenty of time. The TVP was going to be YOLOing forward anyway because he wanted the kill and he's going to defend. So as soon as you lit him here, you should have just backed up like this, gone up the 2 line, and just waited here. Because like after that he didn't have enough time to actually get the full cap. And if the TVP would have died, you would have won the game. So it's just small mistakes. Other than that, like mechanically, all your shots were pretty well placed, and you went for track shots when you had to use the bushes properly. Like mechanically, there's nothing really wrong. It's just a decision-making thing, like game, which is not that big a thing to worry about, to be honest. So other than that, he did okay. I'm just gonna watch one more. I think I wanted to see this. What was it? I think it was a 50B game. I'll watch one more, then I'm gonna go get some lunch, and then I'll stream later at like 1 or something. Okay. Now on to Pilsen. This map is really just only about the opening move that you make. Because the opening move on this map is pretty much the most important thing you can do. So I kind of want to see what you do here. Also, not having 56 APCR rounds is pretty bad. This tank's AP round is absolute cancerously bad. It's really bad in rounds. You should pretty much only ever shoot APCR out of this tank. The reason why I see people load HE clips, I don't know why they do that, but the reason why they do it is because they think that, oh, maybe they have like this pipe dream that they'll have a bunch of grills, and you're already making a mistake. Taking this tank to the 9-0 line is a really bad play. This tank, even though it doesn't look like it has good armor, and you're like, okay, well, it has bad armor, so might as well just go snipe with it. This tank is actually really good in close quarters fighting on the 1-2 line. Controlling the 1-2 line is something this tank can do really well. Right, and in the outer field here, you're just going to get out-traded by mediums because you're going to be playing hold down. This tank is really only good when you can fully clip out onto one tank. Using your entire 600 burst damage onto one tank, especially when they're hold down, is going to be very difficult. So going to the field on this map is really bad, and you've already been lit because you've been indecisive about where your positioning is. So that's pretty bad. And right now, look what you have been doing right now. If you were on the 1-2, you could have already been on the 4 line shooting these guys in the back if you wouldn't have 1-2, or clipping that E75 out from full health. So going 1-2 line, you've already lost out on like 600 damage. You could have already clipped out this E75 and been on this 4 line, have killed the arty, and have had complete control of their cap circle. Going to 9-0 line on this map is completely pointless. You lose out on so much stuff. The 9-0 line is just a death trap. There's too many hills, and there's too many ways that you can defend it from like go back here and back here. It's just too easy. So right now, I guess you're just gonna get they're gonna be swarming your team. Yeah, you really should be hitting these shots. This is more of a mechanical problem here. Yeah, that's really bad. Should definitely have hit that. Alright. So right now it may look like it's looking bad, but actually this is pretty well controlled. However, I don't really understand why your team is still pushing toward the enemy cap circle. But it looks like the enemy team is balling up right now, and you should realize right now, like, look at all these tanks. They're coming right for you, and you basically have no support. So they're just gonna YOLO you. So I would probably just go back toward my teammates. Like clip out on these guys, one clip, and then just literally just run away. You should have taken that shot. Should have aimed that one better. Like this, you can't afford to take snapshots in a 50B. Like any magazine loading tank in this game, you cannot afford to take snaps. You need to just run right now. You need to be running. back toward your team over this way. Because you can come up through the middle here and get side shots on the Centurion and the Type 5 from the place where the 704 is. You can be shooting them right now. And you have a full health bat. He can just bait like he's loaded and just you can cut this T61 out.
User left your channel.
That's just RNG. But right now you shouldn't be backing off. You should be just going forward. Like yeah, you'll take a hit from the E5, but you'll be in position to be clip out as soon as he's done. But basically all you did this game was just hide when you could have been playing more aggressive on the 1-2 line. Like the 1-2 line thing is if you were here from the start, you could have clipped out in the E5 first. So that's 600 damage pretty much if you pen all your shots, or the Waffenträger. Then you could have came back to here, and then you could have clipped out that clip, and you might have hit him up more shots if you were mechanically better with your shots. And then you could have had this game could have easily been like a 4.5 to 5k damage game if you just were in the right position and aimed better. So that's pretty much the only mistakes that I saw there. But the rotation that you made, like the good things that you did though, was I guess the shots that you did on the 140 were, the first two were good. Like the upper plate, firing at the upper plate was really good, especially on the left side because that's where the Amarek is. And other than that, really the only things, you did a lot of very bad things in this game. Like going to the 9-0 line as an opening when their team was basically all meds was really bad. And shooting on the move and taking shots that were like not guaranteed hits were pretty bad. So I don't know. But other than that, like if you just do those things that I was talking about, like just look at the enemy team lineup and notice that they have like a bunch of meds and they're probably not going to be able to fight City as well as your team, then you can just make an educated guess and just go 1-2 line. And you could have gotten, I don't know, a full clip on the E75, a full clip on the E5, and then 2 more clips as they came into your base, and then maybe another one. You could have had like 6k damage this game. Yeah, but pretty much that's pretty much it. So I guess that's it for me for now. I'll be back later to actually play, but hope that helps.